My dear friends, I am happy to share with you some of my reflections on mysticism. One of the most important aspects of our life, the mystical dimension of human person, your life and my life. This is all the more necessary because according to the testimony of Sir William James and Evelyn Underhill, the word mysticism is one of the most misunderstood words in English language. William James speaks of it in his book, The Varieties of Religious Experience, and Evelyn Underhill in her book, Mysticism. The word mysticism has become a misnomer. We all have a mystical dimension, and most of us perhaps are ignorant about it. We need to know all the aspects of our life, and for that we need to know our own selves. We spend our life learning about ourselves. From our early childhood till our death, we learn. We learn not only about things around us, outside us, we want to learn about our own selves. And for that, we have academic pursuit, we learn from experience, we learn from hearsay. And most often, our knowledge of self is restricted to sense perception, what we see, what we hear, what we feel in our touch, etc. We know also through our intellect, our knowledge, our reflection, our arguments, our logical sequence. And there our pursuit of self-knowledge ends. Our pursuit of knowledge itself ends. It might be good for us to know that when the Britishers left India, there were only 20 universities in India, whereas now there are more than 1,000 universities. At that time, the colleges were 416, whereas now, today there are 45,000 colleges, which means there has been an explosion in the pursuit of knowledge. And our people, especially in India, are very conscious of the necessity of knowledge. They are keen on educating their children. We are keen on gathering knowledge. Let's ask ourselves. Of course, you and I, all of us want to gather knowledge. We want to know. From our early childhood, every day of our life till our death, we want to know. What is that we know? Most often, we want to know what we see, what we hear, what we touch, and what we smell through our sense perception. Not that sense perception is bad or secondary. It is through sense perception we have got scientific knowledge, empirical knowledge, positive knowledge, which is absolutely necessary. But human person is more than sense perception. Today, when we are so much interested in knowledge, spend our resources, our time and our energy, build institutions, universities, colleges, technical institutes in pursuit of knowledge, should we not know more than that when the knowledge or the reality is available there? What I want to say is, pursuit of knowledge through sense perception, either through common sense or through laboratory experiment, is necessary. But then, more than that, or above that, we have rational knowledge. We have intellectual knowledge. We know through reflection, through argumentation, through logical sequence. We have intellectual knowledge. we have philosophical knowledge, mathematical knowledge, metaphysical knowledge. And there our pursuit of knowledge ends. Maybe we have theological knowledge, religious knowledge. But that generally there our pursuit of knowledge ends. Not that we don't pursue, but we pursue knowledge only at this level. Can we have more than that? Are we just object of experiments of sense perception or rational reflection? I would like to share with you that apart from the knowledge we gather from sense perception, apart from the knowledge we gather from intellectual reflection, we have mystical knowledge. We can have mystical knowledge. Maybe because we have not experienced it, we have not experimented it, we have not gone in search of it, we have not read about it, we have not heard about it. Perhaps we are totally oblivious of this sphere of human knowledge, human experience. I would like to share with you not about empirical knowledge of sense perception, not about rational knowledge in philosophical pursuit or mathematical or metaphysical pursuit, but about mystical knowledge. I know there are many elite persons in colleges and universities, in research centers, scientists, doctors, who want to know, apart from the empirical knowledge, also the mystical angle of human knowledge. Apart from these academically elite persons or professionally elite persons, there are also ordinary people who live a good life, who are sensitive to their sense knowledge, very reasonable in their ordinary life, yet within them there is a yearning to know more, to be better, to be higher. That also is an indicator to mystical knowledge. What I am trying to share with you is, apart from our ordinary knowledge, which all of us have, and every day we are in pursuit of it, either in a formal way in academic pursuit or informal way in our day-to-day life. Apart from our intellectual pursuit, either in a formal way through university studies or through research, or informal way being reasonable, there is yet another dimension in our life. Another dimension in our life. We should know it. Shall I ask, friends, tell yourself, how often have you thought of that? You and I most often think of our sense knowledge, rational knowledge, and we conclude that reality of our life ends there. This is wrong. We have a mystical dimension in our life. Perhaps that will revolutionize our personal life, our family life, our social life, our political life. Because we don't have mystics, because we don't have mystical insight, we get stuck to sense knowledge and we conclude that what we see with our senses is the only thing that we know and we should know. My argument or my concern is to demonstrate that apart from sense knowledge, apart from intellectual knowledge, we can have mystical knowledge. Not that we can have not only that we can have mystical knowledge, but we have a mystical dimension in our makeup. In our very makeup, there is a mystical dimension. Should it be all the time dormant in us? Should it die with us without ever being awakened? My concern is to awake interest in this mystical dimension. Not merely from the academic curiosity, but the knowledge, generally, you would agree with me, guides our desire. And desire leads to the action. I repeat, knowledge guides our desire, affection. And desire leads us to action. Now, If my knowledge is only sense knowledge, what I desire will be sensibles. And what I deal with it will be sensibles only. If my knowledge is intellectual, my desire would be more than sensibles, intellectuals, intellectual reality. And I will be involved in intellectual reality as well. Now the question is, am I to get stuck up with the sensible things only? We who spend our life in academic career, in research, in scientific research, should we get stuck up only with that? Though that is necessary. And if we get stuck up with that, what happens? When we arrive at a certain level of explosion of sense experience, that sense experience, sense knowledge could be self-destructive. That's what we see in Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Sense knowledge is to be complemented by rational knowledge. We have philosophy, we have metaphysics, different disciplines of philosophy. Even that is not enough. The more we know through sense knowledge and intellectual knowledge, the more we want to know. Who can deny it? The more you know, you scientists, you philosophers, the more you know, the more you want to know. The more you know, the more you understand that you know is much less. So then, there is yet another horizon, not out there in the sky, but in here, in our life. We should not be ignoring that. We should be aware of this mystical dimension. And my efforts are to awaken within us a desire to understand our mystical dimension and to explore and expound this mystical dimension of person in us and see how we can acquire it. Definitely, if we make efforts, we can acquire, not only acquire it, but also experience it. And that will bring about a real revolution or a change in life. I repeat, if there were many mystics in the world of today, perhaps the world would not experience so much of violence, blood, death and destruction as it experiences today. It's therefore absolutely necessary that we be not only practical technicians, scientists, or philosophers. It's absolutely necessary that we be also mystics. It is to the credit of Bertrand Russell, who said, when a person and a scientist has the mystical view, he becomes a genius. Science and mysticism makes a man genius. May our efforts bring about that result in our life for the betterment of the society and our own enlightenment. Thank you very much.